One of the three high-speed trains that Russia plans to construct to link to China will pass through all three countries. The country's objective is to fast reconstruct the domestic economy and aggressively boost commerce with China. Estimates for the project exceed $260 billion. This is an exceedingly difficult and contentious project. After the railway is completed, Russia's condition will be improved and may perhaps improve further. The reason Russia built the railway to China has a tremendous impact on the current status of the globe. Russia has been under pressure from numerous Western European parties for the last 2 years, and its economy is already deteriorated. At the same time, Russia experienced a 63.4% increase in natural gas supplies to China, which has a population of 1.4 billion people and the world's highest demand. China is the world's largest market for any country. They also have the China-Europe Railway Express, a Russian railway project. The second reason for heading there is the first railway from Russia, Xinjiang. Russia's territory is just 55 kilometers from a Chinese and Xin area. Cross-border business between Russia and China may be accomplished in 30 minutes. According to Zhou, China's railway not only links Mongolia and Kazakhstan, but it also connects Russia to the north. When it was initially proposed, Russia aims to utilize this route to export coal and other raw materials to China. This concept has garnered a lot of attention, and many people in Europe support it. The railway concept, however, has garnered criticism and queries from the United States. One of the reasons is China's huge rail network. The China-Europe Railway Express is a transnational train that passes through China. Before, Western countries were opposed to this endeavor, but today all nations wish to collaborate with China. As the China-Europe Railway Express can transfer freight in the shortest amount of time in 2022, the commercial cooperation between Europe and tween Europe and more than 10,000 trains will transport us to more than 200 locations in 24 different European countries. Xinjiang is China's principal point of departure. There are around 5,000 trains in Europe. So far this year, trains from China and Europe have entered and exited the country. Commerce between Xinjiang and European countries is lively and has increased by 40 in recent years. For this reason, Russia aims to build a railway to Kun. Unfortunately, constructing this railway will be very difficult. Although being just 55 kilometers long, this railroad construction is not simple. Along the border, there are various mountains and rainforests. Across 55 kilometers of challenging terrain, protected regions, and environmentally sensitive areas, 2 bridges and 3 tunnels must be completed. If the railway is built, it will take at least 2 years. Russia is eager to build a railway to China in order to aggressively develop commerce and reclaim market share lost by Western countries. Additionally, we have access to enormous resources that lead to other countries through China. Once the railway is completed, Russian exports will undoubtedly increase significantly. Second, the Chinese city of Xinjiang is a famous tourist destination with an agricultural special port. Xing agricultural goods have lately joined the European market, resulting in a 44.55 export value. If completed, the railway between Russia and Xinjiang, China will be the shortest route between the two nations. Second Railroad is a high-speed rail project involving 3 countries. The project was both costly and difficult to complete. The railway is 7,000 kilometers long in total, stretching from Beijing, China, to Kazakhstan. The journey concludes in Moscow. Travel by train from Russia to Beijing. Formerly, it took 6 days and 5 nights. Since the two nations' train systems aren't equivalent, switching lines took 2 hours. They were exhausted at the end of the excursion. Yet if the high-speed rail is built, it takes 30 hours to go by rail from Beijing to Moscow. So why is Russia attempting to establish a high-speed rail line to China? The United States has none of the world's longest railways. Russia's Trans-Siberian Railway is still operational. It already needs upgrades or repairs. High-speed rail is currently available throughout Africa. Apart from aircraft, high-speed rail is the fastest means of transportation. Its existence in China and Africa has shown that it can stimulate economic development and enhance people's living standards. Russia has resolved to usher in a new age of high-speed rail in order to enhance ties between China and Russia. Russia is located in a mountainous region with a difficult local environment. It is very unstable and is distinguished by seasonal, frozen ground. Despite possessing the essential building skills, China is confronted with difficult local geological and climatic conditions as well as exceptionally long construction distances. You are aware of how challenging the project is. Even if this massive endeavor takes longer than 5 years to complete, the wait will be well worth it. China-Russia Railroad Bridge over a river is the third railroad cross-river bridge. The first river railway bridge spans international boundaries between China and Russia. The project is scheduled to be completed in April 2022. The railway runs for 6 kilometers. It was built in entirety by a Sino-Russian joint venture. The railway goes from Heilongjiang, China to Siberia and links Kabs, the biggest city in the extreme east-west of Europe. The railroad has a freight capacity of 21 million tons per year. Since the railway's inauguration, trade between Russia and Northeast China has increased by 45%, and the logistical flow has shifted from west to China to east. The two countries want to utilize the railway to construct a new land grain corridor as part of the project, to plan the storage and transportation of certain grains. The Trans-Baikal grain terminal, with a capacity of 8 million tons per year, is set to open. Russia's economic level will rise as a result of trade with China and China. We will also employ goods transportation to advertise many of our own products and to advertise many of our own products. Tens of millions of people currently reside in both countries. China has advocated for strong cooperation among many countries in order to establish a society with a common destiny for mankind. Russia is now dealing with a lot of domestic problems and commercial exports have been halted. China is Russia's only hope. Long-term stable ties between China and Russia will benefit both peoples, whether via access to the Chinese market or access to Russia's resources. Since 2021, China has deployed 15,000 China-Europe trains, half of which reached Europe through Kazakhstan, increasing the need for railway operation and maintenance. As a consequence, the Sino-Russian Railway can assist Kazakhstan in alleviating this burden. When the railway between China and Russia is completed, the China-Europe Railway may be used to transport Russian resources to Europe, while the other half of the trains can be used on other rails, relieving Europeans of their burden. According to our understanding, 7 countries headed by the United States have collectively frozen the Russian central bank's current foreign currency reserves. A speedy settlement system has also been proposed for Russia. Western countries, headed by the United States, are preparing to impede Russian finances, technology, and commerce. Russia will not cease railroad construction. The first railway line, as well as the remaining 2 lines, have been completed. It may take a few years or more to complete, but once completed, the nation will see big improvements, which is a great development. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Click here to view a video about another frightening project.